Hello YouTube, my name is Legend of Yes and welcome back to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's talk about it. Because this time we're actually revisiting a topic that I did a few weeks ago. I believe it was a few weeks ago, I don't remember and I'm not gonna look it up now. But it was about echoes and predicting echo fighters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, this time we're obviously revisiting with more characters. I believe this time I'm actually going over almost the entire roster with only a very few characters not included. I believe I did not include the characters that already have echo fighters, characters that already are like mixed, already are kind of pushing it. I think like for example Toon Link and Young Link, they would always gonna go back to adult Link in terms of characters that would pull from their movesets. Same thing for Wolf and characters in general. I couldn't think of one like King K. Rool, or I couldn't find one like the affirmation King K. Rool. Now these come, most of these either come for characters that I thought after I made the video, comments that I saw on my own videos, or even the Smash board. So let's get on with it, and let's start off obviously with number one, which is Mario. With Mario, obviously, if we're gonna get an Echo Fighter for Mario, it will be most likely Paper Mario. At this point in time, I don't think anybody doubts that if Mario gets one, it will be a Paper Mario. Now, a lot of people would prefer, instead of Paper Mario to be its own original character, but it could work very well as a Mario Echo Fighter. You can just give him the hammer instead of giving him a fireball, for example. But then again, Paper Mario does also use fireballs. So yeah, a hammer instead of Flood, which would, I think, for a lot of people make Paper Mario immediately better than Mario. So, you know, I don't know. It would be a fun one. I think it's the most likely one. I've heard and seen some people online saying Shadow Mario, but Shadow Mario is a Final Smash. It's part of Bowser Jr.'s Final Smash, so I don't really see it. Then we move on to Donkey Kong, number 2 in the franchise, and it's still the same. I believe it will be Funky Kong is the more likely one. If Donkey Kong is to get one, Funky makes sense. We could see Kiddy Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. be a part of it, but I honestly don't see it. Then for Link, this is a very interesting one. I don't think Link will get one, or any of the Links will get one, but if the Links get one, it will be either classic Link, so Link from previous games, you know, with the green tunic, and mostly of the design for Twilight Princess with the Gale Boomerang and the normal bombs. That will be it. He probably will be him, or it could be Dark Link, although I don't think Dark Link will be in, mostly because unlike Dark Samus and unlike Dark Pit, he doesn't have any character progression. He's not even that much of a character. He stands in front of Link and he's a boss battle like, how many times is it? Okay, so I went and checked after getting interrupted. But yeah, Dark Link has been in like 3 boss battles: Zelda 2, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Hyrule Warriors. Again, not much of character development, so he's not really a character I would consider for a playable spot in Smash Bros. Ultimate, especially given that every character that has been in as an Echo is a brand new character, and adding characters to the roster, especially characters that have been requested. Then we get to number 4, which is the good old Yoshi, lovable Yoshi, and I said in my previous video, Birdo, and in that same video, I believe the name of the person was Empoleon77, exactly, I'm looking at it, brought up the fact that not a lot of people talk about Yarn Yoshi, and I went to looked it up, and not a lot of people do bring up Yarn Yoshi as a character, as a possible Echo. I don't believe it will be an Echo, mostly because Yarn Yoshi, like I said in my comment, is just basically Yoshi made out of yarn. There's not a lot of differences, so he will just be, and Echoes again feel like they're just bringing in a lot of brand new characters to the franchise, especially characters in their own franchises that are different people. So Yarn Yoshi to me still seems like a very far-fetched one, Birdo being the more likely, and like Mr. Empoleon said, our misses, I'm not going to go there, but like Empoleon77 brought up, Yarn Yoshi, despite being originating in the Mario franchise, he's considered his own franchise in Smash Bros., being a part of the Yoshi's Island franchise. But here's the thing. We don't know if Yarn Yoshi or the IPs will stay the same, if there's going to be any cross promotion, quote-unquote cross promotion in characters crossing over between franchises, and if they do, I have some here in this list that actually include that. But I would say that even if they don't, Birdo is always, there's a lot of people that still think of Birdo as the female Yoshi, and trust me, I know some of them. And it's just, they're still like, they share a lot of screen time in Mario games, you know. There's still a lot of Yoshi and Birdo game, or Birdo and Yoshi being a part of the same games. It's mostly the spin-offs. They share a lot of screen time, so it wouldn't be the most far-fetched one, especially if they do end up making Echo Fighters of different franchises. Then we get to number 5 in Kirby. Once again, I didn't find many. I found 2 online and in the Smash boards, and these are Prince Fluff and Gooey or Gooey. I don't believe either or could be. I believe like Prince Fluff, for example, is a character that is mostly, and I will repeat, mostly, it's mostly different from Kirby. He is the same as Kirby in Epic Yarn, but they would play very different than the way Kirby does in Smash Brothers. And the same thing goes for Gooey or Gooey. He plays differently, and especially in Kirby Star Allies, he's playable, and he plays differently than Kirby, and again, especially as Kirby does in Smash Brothers. Then we reached to Fox, that I have included Fox and Falco here. Again, not many that I could think of. Obviously, Peppy and Slippy are the most talked about ones. And obviously, getting the entirety of the Star Fox roster or crew in here would be something cool to see. Peppy and Slippy next to Fox and Falco, they would fit actually the 4. But again, I think like some things would have to be changed. Obviously, most likely the properties of their up Bs or like the jabs would be the one thing that could differentiate them. But also for Fox, one that is far more likely, or not far more likely, but far more easier, would be his dad, James McCloud. It's basically Fox with a pair of sunglasses. So maybe that could be it. That would be a fast workaround. Then for number 7, not number 7 in the overall Smash thing, but in this list, it's Pikachu, and I stand by what I said last time, and it would be Raichu. I don't think there's a lot they could change here. Raichu could just be the heavier, slower, but hard-hitting Pikachu with less recovery. It would work, I think, personally. Then for Luigi, there's actually 3 possible choices, I think, and I've also seen online. One that I completely forgot that it could even be a thing, that would be Dr. Luigi. That could be interesting. Basically just a Dr. Mario one, but with Dr. Luigi. I mean, if we have Dr. Mario, we could have Dr. Luigi. And much like Mario, Paper Luigi, I believe I said this in my previous video. And finally, the third one would be Mr. L. I do think Mr. L would be kind of a stretch though. I know people like Mr. L, but I do think it will be a little bit of a stretch, given that I think that Paper Luigi would be more likely. Then we reach Mr. Ness, and for Ness, and kind of for, no, Lucas is a completely different one, I'm sorry, but it's Ninten. I said it before and I will say it again, Ninten. I think it's the most likely one if we are to get. Then we reach Mr. Captain Falcon, the captain. I said in my previous video, Black Shadow, and again, I don't know much about F-Zero, but you know, I went with Black Shadow. It was the only one that I knew. Blood Falcon is also one that has been floating around the internet. Not much to say. I think he is a clone of of Captain Falcon, so it makes sense for him to be a character, or an echo, I should say, of Captain Falcon, given that he's already a clone. And then Ganon Tice on the comment section for why Echo Fighters are great, brought up Deathborn, a character that I did not know existed in the F-Zero universe. He brought up as also an Echo Fighter for Captain Falcon. Both of them would be cool, especially if like characters get more than one Echo, to be like 2 different playstyles or 3 different playstyles of the same thing. Like we could have Captain Falcon, then like Black Shadow, the stronger but heavier of one with less recovery of the 3, and then Deathborn being the lighter, faster but weaker one. Will be interesting to see if they play off with this. And then for, I believe, the second Yeah, second, technically speaking, because of Birdo. Second, different franchise player to be an Echo would be Blaziken for an Echo fighter of Captain Falcon. The only thing I think would need to be changed would be the Falcon Punch, because Blaziken, I don't think he can learn Fire Punch. Although it could, I think it doesn't. But even if he did, it's a weird thing to see, like you know, Blaziken. You're seeing it on screen right now with his little arms. It will be a weird to see him Falcon Punch someone and be Fire Punch. But it could work. It will be interesting. It will be funny. And I kind of I'm kicking myself for not being smart enough to think of Blaziken. Then for Jigglypuff, the only thing I could find, and it's the only thing I think most people have thought, is Igglypuff. Although its evolution could also work, but not to the same extent. So Igglypuff, it's kind of pushing it, I think. I don't think Jigglypuff will get an Echo. Then for Bowser, the one character that kind of goes against what I said about Yarn Yoshi would be Dry Bowser. But then again, Dry Bowser could work as a lighter Bowser with much less power to it, but also with more jumps. Not more jumps, but a better recovery, better jumps, you know, or more light. It could work, not like Yarn Yoshi, which I believe would just be Yoshi, which is, I don't know how to explain this one. Then I saw some people say mid-bus, which has already been referenced in the Smash with the costumes for Bowser. And then I saw some bad ones for Bowser, like Wart and Blastoise. I don't know where people got these ideas from, especially Blastoise. Wart, I can kind of see it, maybe even as a K-Rool skin, but no, actually I did think of one for K-Rool, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I don't know why at the beginning of the video I said I didn't. But yeah, Blastoise to me was the terrible one. Then for the Ice Climbers, I don't think there's a lot of them you could do, but Paper Mario and Paper Luigi together would work, or the Baby Mario and Baby Luigi as well. I think these are the only ones that I could think of. Then for Sheik, I stand by what I said, Impa, which would be really cool. Impa deserves a spot, although I would prefer her to have the the Hyrule Warriors version of her. I think that Skyward Sword and even the costume for Ocarina of Time could work as echoes for Sheik. Maybe change a move here and there, it'll be cool. Then for 15, there's one that I said last time, that is Hilda. I still think Hilda is the more likely one, but people have been saying Toon Zelda. Someone in my comments also said Toon Zelda, and if I could find the name of the person, which is right here, I just saw it like moments ago. Yeah, here it is. Bleach Crazy. Okay, yeah, Bleach Crazy. Toon Zelda. Here the thing about Toon Zelda that I don't think is gonna make Toon Zelda likely is the fact that there's a size difference between her and Zelda, or regular Zelda. That's why I think Hilda is more likely. And the fact that Toon Link is not considered an Echo, so maybe Toon Zelda could work. I don't think it would. Then for Dr. Mario, I think Dr. Luigi, if Dr. Luigi is not an Echo for regular Luigi, or is Paper Luigi or Mr. L, then Dr. Luigi for Dr. Mario would be the obvious choice. Then for Pichu, this one is rumored to have been one of the Forbidden 7 characters in Brawl, in +1 Minun. Maybe one, like, not in combination, but the two of them just separate, like being costumes, one being the costume, much like, you know, Robin and female Robin, and they will still have the same things as Pichu. Maybe it could work like I was saying, Black Shadow and Deathborn, like all three worked similar. There's two Echoes, and one is a stronger version and one is a weaker version. I don't know how it would work here, but it's a possibility. Then for number then Ganondorf, there's two possibilities, and I kick myself again for not thinking of these when I did my first video, in the shape of the mice from Skyward Sword or Toon Ganondorf. Both of them have highly likelihood, especially now that the Ganondorf has a sword, but Toon Ganondorf to me is the one that feels in a way more likely, because it's Toon Ganondorf is more popular, more recognizable, and more in a way more different. But the fact that Toon Ganondorf utilizes dual swords kind of hinders him, so the mice would be the more likely one in my eyes. Then for Mewtwo, I kick myself for not thinking about this one when I did my first video. It would be Shadow Mewtwo from Pokken. It's an easy one also to do. They could like give him... He could be the stronger one of the two, but less floatier. Maybe even change Disable to some other move from either Pokemon or Pokken. Then for Meta Knight, Galactonite, I said it last time, but it seems like Galactonite might just be a reskin, but once again, and much like I will say later, we don't know every costume for the characters. We haven't seen everything. We might not have seen everything. But another possibility is Dark Meta Knight, which could be, it's very likely that Dark Meta Knight could be a character in the game. But you know, I think that if it is Dark Meta Knight, then we start building a pretty big roster of just dark characters, or dark versions of characters they already have in Smash. Then for Wario, I didn't have anyone last time, but now I have because I've seen this in Smash, on the Smash board. Booster from the Super Mario RPG. Now this one depends if it is I believe it's still a Square Enix character, so it could be difficult. I said, oh, I forgot to say this for Yoshi, Boshi, also from Super Mario RPG. So if both of them can be in, that's lovely, especially if Geno is also a playable character. So Wario and Booster. Booster, from what I've seen, actually looks like Wario, so it could work. I don't know, I've never played Super Mario RPG, so I cannot really say much. Then for Snake, I keep my choices of Raiden, Liquid Snake, Big Boss, and an Advanced Wars character. I don't think much changed here. Ike is the first character that has a really big change. Before I said like Chrom could be it. I think I said Chrom could be it. Or Chrom was a possibility, although I thought he most likely would be still a character or a part of Robin's Final Smash. But now that we know that he isn't and he's an Echo, but for Roy, Ike I think could have an Echo in the shape of the Black Knight, from the villain from his games. We've seen, I believe, the stage where he normally would be in Castle Siege, but I believe he's not a part of it, so it could be that he's a playable character. But you know, even in Smash 4, the character that was supposed to be in the throne, that was supposed to be him, kind of did not look like him, so maybe, maybe not. Then for Pokemon Trainer, once again, I don't think he's gonna get an Echo. He could have an Echo, but I would believe that the better choice would have to be a brand new Pokemon Trainer. We have so many options. Then for Diddy, once again, the most obvious one is Dixie. Diddy no longer has the tail jab, but even if he did, you could change it. They've done that with Chrom. Dixie could also have a different up B. People say that she has never used the peanut gun. That doesn't mean anything. Again, we don't know how much a character could have changed now in Echoes, but it could easily they could give her the bubble gum gun that she has, so it would be like an easy fix. It could be the same thing as it is now, but a little different, just aesthetically different, which would be what Dixie would end up being. Then for Lucas, I've seen floating around the Masked Man from Mother 3, and this one I don't believe it will be a thing, mostly because the Masked Man has a sword and an arm cannon, so I don't see how that would work. Maybe if he was an Echo for Zero, but Zero is not a playable character, and he most likely would have ended up being an Echo of Mega Man, so Then we reach Sonic. Shadow still is the most likely one, but I've seen floating around, and this is actually a possibility, would be Metal Sonic. And yeah, another one that I kind of kick myself in the back, or kick myself for not thinking about it, which is because it's such an easy one to think. You know, Shadow and Metal Sonic are basically the clones of Sonic already, so why not think of them? But I completely forgot about him. Then we get King Dedede. The only one from the series, from the Kirby series I've seen floating around is Bonkers. Although I don't think Bonkers could be in. It just seems like a random choice. Although the next choice is one that I kind of kick myself again for not thinking about. Would be Darunia. Darunia also uses a hammer, and it would fit again if we do. And yeah, you could just give him fire effects for it. It would be cool. Maybe we did the Rook skin. I kind of kick myself again for not thinking of this. And if Echoes from across platform or cross franchises, and then we are allowed to customize the character roster by series, it will work so much better. Then Olimar, the only one that I've seen is Louis, which would be an interesting choice. Alf could also be it, but we have seen him as a costume unless Sakurai is trolling the hell out of us. Then for Lucario, I've seen two. One that I really enjoyed, the other one like I'm kind of meh. The one that I'm kind of meh is Riolu, which is his pre-evolution. It's the same thing as Jigglypuff, and if that's the case, I don't think they will do it. And that will also happen with Greninja, but I'll get to that when we get to that. And the one that I really enjoyed was Alolan Marowak, which I think would work really well. But it all depends on what Sakurai would think. Although Marowak already has a bone out, and Lucario I believe is just for certain moves, and it's an aura bone, so yeah. Does he have it in Smash? I think he does. Unless I'm misremembering, I think he does. Then for Villager, it's Isabelle. We all know it's Isabelle, and I know for some people it's weird to think of Isabelle as a fighter. It's weird for me too, but you know, I think it's gonna happen. She's very popular, but come on, before the Smash Brothers, I think that a lot of us would have found weird to also fight as the Villager, or to fight, you know, as who was it? Where is it? I have it in the list of yeah, the Duck Hunt duo. You know, just the dog itself. People said it, but like the dog and the duck would have been weird. Then for Mega Man, I couldn't find much that wasn't already deconfirmed, like Zero and Bass, Mega Man X. And the only one I could find that hasn't been deconfirmed, which I don't believe it's gonna happen, is Roll from the originals. I think this is just one of like people just trying to find one. And so yeah. Then for Little Mac, I stand by the ones that I've said before. I believe I said Sandman, Super Macho Man, and King Hippo could be it. I'm now adding one more in Bong Bull, which would be pretty interesting, and one that I kind of kick myself in the back for kicking myself repeatedly for not thinking about, for not being smart enough to think of this, as Glass Joe. And I know what you might be saying, Glass Joe, you're kidding, right? No, but Glass Joe would fit so many categories. He would be a perfect Echo. He would represent the franchise very well because people know of him. And one more thing, it would be the WTF character of this game, like the Wii Fit Trainer and all the other characters before. It would be interesting as hell. One thing, I did not mention Wii Fit Trainer because I couldn't find one. The only thing I could find from Wii Fit Trainer was the Just Dance silhouette, which is funny to me, but I don't think it would work or even be a thing. And then for Greninja, there was the only thing I could find was Frogadier, which is much like the other ones, is just meh to me. Then I saw Toxicroak and Croagunk. Those would be interesting, although Croagunk I believe is more popular. I think Toxicroak would make much more sense, especially in the context of like the Echoes being at the very least similar to the characters they are mimicking. I think Toxicroak is the one problem is like Toxicroak stands on 2 feet. It doesn't. I mean, they could change the idle animation how he stands. They already done that with Dark Samus, and maybe they will change the Water Shoryuken for maybe a Gunk Shot or something. Then for Palutena, Medusa or Viridi are the only ones that I've seen. Mostly, I don't have much to say about this, to be honest. I don't know much about Kid Icarus. I do believe Viridi is a big part of Reset Force or whatever it's called from Kid Icarus, and I believe she's already been confirmed or to be in it or show up in it. So if she's actually a pretty big part of it, and if she doesn't remove anything, or like she does, she really impacts the stage, or a character could replace her. Maybe she could be the Echo Fighter, but Medusa also seems like the likely one. Then for Pac-Man, it's obvious he's gonna be Miss Pac-Man. I know she's a part of the background in one area of the game, but seriously, people, we cannot look at characters in the background of stages as deconfirmations. Are we all forgetting about Toon Link in Smash 4 when the Spirit Track stage was shown and Toon Link was there, and people were like, oh, there it is. Toon Link is not going to be in Smash 4, and then he ended up being in Smash 4. He was just replaced there, so I don't think that matters too much. Then for Robin, I'll stay by the fact that I said Grima. It's a possibility, but also I've seen Soren from the Ike games. I forget, Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, I think it was in both, and Celica. If any of these three are to make it in, I hope it's Celica, because I don't know how they would incorporate Grima, and I don't have much of a story or history with Soren, but Celica, I really enjoy her. Especially, I've been playing a lot of I've played a lot of Fire Emblem Heroes, and she's one of my favorite characters. Then for Shulk, I've heard some people throw around the word of Dunban, but Dunban is a part of the Final Smash, so he won't be in. I obviously said something from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is a spoiler, and I'm going to put the spoiler thing right now on screen. So if you don't want to be spoiled for the original Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there's a time on the screen, so you have 3, 2, 1. So from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, It could be Alvis, he also wields the Monado. It could be Zanza, although I don't think would be Zanza, that's too much of a spoiler. And obviously for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it will be Malos. Obviously, it's the only one that makes sense. Now, welcome back to everybody that skipped the spoiler. Also, for the last character, actually not before we cut from the spoiler, Malos could only work if Rex and Pyra are also in the game, which at this point in time I'm more iffy about it, but still. Okay, so now welcome back to the people that skipped the spoiler part. We are now in Bowser Jr., and I didn't see much of this. I only saw Baby Bowser and Boom Boom, and both of them I don't see happening. Baby Bowser is basically just Bowser Jr. already, and Boom Boom I don't see how it makes sense in the context of the clown car, but still, that will be a thing. Then for Duck Hunt Duo, which this I have to give props to the Smash boards. I don't remember who said it, but Poochie and Stork from the Yoshi's Island series would be perfect characters to be in the game as the Duck Hunt Duo echoes. The only thing you really would need to change would be like removing the light gun elements, or change them a little bit to some other character from those franchises. It would work, it could work perfectly. The problem is like the light gun elements, but it's still, they could change it, like aesthetically change them to something else. It would be cool to see. Then for Ryu, I was going to say Cloud, there's three possibilities. I said Ken last time, but Akuma and Sakura also seem to be likelihoods, and people requesting them and talking about them. Akuma would be cool, and Sakura would also be interesting to see, so you know, it's a toss-up, but I do believe it's gonna be Ken. Then for Cloud, I've heard three names be thrown around: Zack from Final Fantasy IX, I think, Noctis from the latest Final Fantasy, and one that I found very interesting that if it is in the game would be Eliwood, who is a Fire Emblem character who's the father of Roy, and I saw was like remove Limit Break, make him a little bit stronger, and make him Cloud with fire. And I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I would like to see that. But if anyone's gonna be here from these three, I'm gonna guess Zack. I think he has been already on the Nintendo system. He's a part of the Final Fantasy franchise, so it makes sense. Then for Corrin, another one that I kind of kick myself for not thinking, which would be Tiki. It would be cool. She has all the properties because she's a Maneki, she makes sense. But the one thing that kind of dethrones this is the fact that she doesn't wield swords. I mean, she can, but and the Yato is like a chainsaw blade, so it's kind of iffy. Then for Bayonetta, I said Jean last time, I stay in by Jean, but there is one thing that kind of makes Jean highly unlikely, and it's Bayonetta 3. Was having Victory 19 comment on the Super Smash Bros. Final roster prediction, or for the roster for final prediction, if Jean could still be a viable Echo because of the ult. We haven't seen again every ult in the game, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but Victory said that it made sense to add Jean as an Echo for Bayonetta because of Bayonetta 3 coming up, and now what I'm thinking, and I've been thinking since then, that actually kinda sorta Bayonetta 3 can ruin her chances of being in because of Bayo 3. Bayo 3, because of the trailer. If we see the trailer, if you see Bayonetta 3 trailer, Bayonetta gets split in half. So either Bayonetta dies or she's split into two personalities. And that's the way that could be an Echo. It could be one of the other personality that we haven't seen yet, or a brand new character that will be the next protagonist of the Bayonetta franchise. So maybe another character I put in here that could be an Echo for Bayonetta would be Rosa. Although she plays a little bit different than Bayonetta in the games, she could be very well in. Then for the Inklings, it's the same thing I said before. Octoling, it just makes sense. I mean, it's right there. Then for Ridley, I've seen two floating around, that is Omega Ridley and Meta Ridley. Both of them already are Ridley, and you notice Meta Ridley is in here. Meta Ridley has been shown, we have seen Meta Ridley, but we haven't seen him actually be playable. So that means that either A, characters have more than 8 costumes, B, Meta Ridley just ends up having 16 color swaps, much like Little Mac does, or C, Meta Ridley is an Echo. So maybe, maybe not, we just have to see. And finally, for King K. Rool, of the characters announced, for King K. Rool, I included Lord Frederick from Tropical Freeze. It's the only one that I could think of. Give me, come on guys, it's the only one that I could think of if it was to be in. So that was the only one that I could find. So, then I'm gonna talk about some of the characters that I think could be in and could make it in, or some that I saw in the comments, or that could be DLC, or that I've seen online. So first things first is Isaac. This one has been floating around the internet. If Isaac is in, and if he does get an Echo Fighter, it will be Felix. I don't know much about the Golden Sun franchise, so I'm not gonna put myself out there and say any dumb, stupid stuff. Then I've said it, I want Wonder Red in the game. I will not be shocked if Wonder Red is in the game. So I've included Wonder Red in here because in my final character prediction, I did say that Wonder Red could be one of the final characters added. And seeing as he is a character, I forgot to mention, like, could he have an Echo? And he can have an Echo. If he does have an Echo, it would be Prince Vorken from the 1.1 as well, because he, when you battle him still in the first area of the game. He has the same moveset as you, so it's very possible, very likely that if Wonder Red makes it in, to include more 1-for-1 characters, Prince Vorken could be a part of it. He has basically the same moveset as Wonder Red already. Then, when we get him, be it at launch or as DLC, Springman, I've said it before, in Ribbon Girl. Then Rex, again, I think no matter what, if it's Rex and Pyra, if it's Rex with 3 blades, the only thing that kind of throws a wrench in my idea of him getting an Echo, if it's Rex with Pyra and Mithra, because if it is Rex with Pyra or Rex with 3 Echoes, Mithra and Adam, or Adam with Mithra, or Adam with 3 Echoes or 3 blades, would be the next logical choice as an Echo Fighter for him. And I want to say that Jake Smith, that recently posted a comment in my final roster prediction, did say that, did not give me this idea. He put up the possibility of Zeke and Pandoria as Echo Fighters for Rex and Pyra. Although I do like that idea, I don't think that's possible just because of how different they would play. Rex and Pyra and Zeke and Pandoria play pretty differently. And before we end off this video, while editing this, I remembered a character that I kind of forgot to include in this. That is Elma, in case of Elma makes it into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And if she does get an Echo, like everybody else I've been doing in this last section, her Echo could very easily be Cross from Xenoblade Chronicles X as well. Why? Because, well, Cross is basically a blank state. He's your avatar, and you can choose any branch of the blades. He can choose any class that you can master. So he's a blank state, and that way we can get more representation. And you could also include Cross, because ever since Xenoblade Chronicles X came out and the discussion of Elma being in Smash was around, I always was afraid that Elma could become like Chrom, of she is a character in the game, and then the protagonist, quote unquote, the avatar, steals your thunder. Unlike Chrom and like Robin, Cross doesn't really have that much of an impact on the story. Robin is a fulcral, a monumental part of the story and very important part of the story, which Cross isn't. Elma is a much more important character. So yeah, I think that Elma would be the main character, and then Cross as an Echo, and I think it will work just fine and very well. So yeah, back to the past, shall we? Also from Jake Smith, he proposes the idea of Rayman coming in as DLC with Glowbox as an Echo Fighter, which would be pretty interesting, I might add. I don't think Rayman is going to be in. I think mostly because Rayman was a character that just begun gaining traction after the Smashified leak. So, you know, to me it just feels like he's a character that didn't have a lot of fan base before, and suddenly he gained a lot of it. And I don't think that it's a lot like Waluigi. I don't think he's gonna get in because of a meme, basically. Not that people don't like him or anything, or he wasn't popular before. I just think, like, in the conversation of Smash, he wasn't highly requested until the Smashified leak, which was fake, obviously. And then people gain that's when he gained popularity. And I don't think that's how Sakurai is gonna deal with this type of things. But maybe that's just me. Maybe he will be in. Then for Heihachi, which I still think is going to be a character in the game, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know much about Tekken, so I just put Jin because he's like the only character I know. So please don't kill me. Maybe there's a character that resembles him more? I don't know, I just said it. Then, obviously, for the other characters, I don't think they're going to be having any echoes, or they already have echoes. Characters like Geno, Skull Kid, if they make it in, I don't think they're going to have an echo. Same thing for Monster Hunter, the Hunter from Monster Hunter, or Karate Joe. That's it. That's been the video of revisiting echoes, and Jesus Christ, just this segment alone has been over 30 minutes, plus the other 2.5 minutes I spent is probably like 34. And yeah, that's when the video is gonna end. So thank you guys for watching. Tell me in the comment section, who are your most wanted echoes as of right now after the Smash Direct? Who do you think it's likely, now that we have confirmation that third parties can have echoes and that new characters can have echoes? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've been the Legend of the S. Join me tomorrow for the leaks and rumors video, which will be probably recorded later today if my voice is still going, still have a voice. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've been the Legend of the S. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.